Hey, everybody. Let me apologize, first of all, for the audio quality, which will probably be pretty poor because I'm doing this on a laptop in a hotel room in Los Angeles, California. I'm taking a small break from my other endeavor, which consumes most and more of my time, but I wanted to keep this cadence going. I said I was going to try to do this at least every weekend. And so here we are, day late, dollar short. But I wanted to keep it going. It helps my brain, certainly, kind of doing this, reconnecting. So regardless of what you're doing and how active you are in the markets, just kind of take a pause, maybe like I am, and kind of reset a little bit. There seems to be at least some value in as I've often said over the years, my babbling for some silly reason. But in all seriousness, I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and it's been very heartwarming. Been very heartwarming. Again, it's been about 5 years. And so the reconnecting, let's just keep the dialogue going, see where it goes. As I've always said over the years, feel free to change the channel if you'd like. I'm just one person with one set of perspectives, trying to find a community of sorts that can lean on one another, and that's really, in my opinion, what it's all about. So I've jotted some notes down here, but let's kind of have at it. First of all, I have tinkered a little bit. I shouldn't say tinkered because I just told one of my coworkers recently that in business, tinkering is not good. Tweaking is okay. Tweaking, improving. Tinkering is just, it can be wasteful. So I have tweaked the website a little bit to improve the readability of the blog index. So if you click on the index or the blog menu item, or any of the buttons throughout the site that bring you to the blog, it'll have a full index in terms of all the current posts we're doing now, as well as going back. As I've said, I'm going to be reloading posts over time, some of the ones that I think are most helpful. It's fascinating, by the way, as I do that now, because I look back at, for example, the one I posted just now or reposted, which is Keys to the Castle, which some of you may recall was really formed as the result of the beta jelly team providing me input in terms of what they learned after 8 weeks as traders, and they just nailed it. And so looking back at it, many years later now, and kind of vetting it to see, is that still appropriate? Does it still make sense? And the especially the note about outliers being critical, trade outliers. That is as true today as it ever has been, and probably will be. It'll always be true, in terms of whatever in life you're pursuing. Um, I talked in the book about windows of opportunity. Windows open, windows close. They open and close during the day. They open and close during the week, month, lifetime, right? And there's a quote and toward the back of the book that says that when that window opens, jump through it with both feet, because it ain't always going to be there. And so circling back to the whole outlier concept, it's that both feet version. I've said again, many of you have heard this ad infinitum, that trading, like a lot of similar aspects in life, is a lot about win a little, lose a little, win a little, win a lot. And the lot piece is so important because that lot might be that perfect setup. That lot might be that time when you're uber focused. But you need that. You absolutely have to have that. And whether it's that extreme focus where you're able to trade rapid fire, or whether it's just you have your chips in. And I could go down so many rabbit holes with this. But anyway, I found that post to be again still self-evident and important. So I posted that as my third repost, if you will. So we've done the John Wooden quotes. We've done the fictional Svithjod Rock post. We've reposted that, and now we've posted Keys to the Castle. Again, just a critical thought on outliers. So anyway, that's up there. Again, thanks for everybody who's reached out to me. It's like I said, it's been heartwarming. I won't dwell on that any further. I jotted down a few questions that I thought I would try to answer anywhere here. A lot of people have asked me, I say a lot, a few people have asked me what my future plans are. Some of you have noted my current energy level that seems to be as strong as it ever has been. And let me take that second one for a second, and I hope and I know what you're seeing is just the lifeblood that comes when you're just in a good spot, and whether it's because of the people I'm surrounded with, whether it's because of the multi-year mission I'm on, maybe whether it's because I'm now able to reconnect with a lot of you. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've got grandkids now, but I'm just in a really, really good spot. Um, I still miss and will get back to in spades at some point the financial markets as we used to. I love the show Billions. We really never talked about that. I don't even know if it was around when we were last together. I think I was just building the network, the last network out. But during COVID, by the way, which I didn't get COVID for 4 years, and then got it about 6 months ago and got nailed. And so I'll share that with you. But during the early periods of COVID, um, I was just binge watching Billions and love that, and think back to our network that we had and all the great help that Robin Dane provided. We had our own Wendy basically, and so in terms of my being away from that part of the business and wanting to get back into it in more spades, I can't right now because I'm on an incredible mission with an incredible people, and we do have some specific goals in place that we haven't quite reached. When that happens, I've got I've got thoughts, I've got ideas, and if we can look to what we last left off with in terms of a global trading network, multiple continents, and again, which is largely intact as we speak. But whether it's either my reconnecting with that or creating something new, just having a common um, space where we could really leverage off of each other. No baloney, no hype, no guru, but just being down and dirty. So, that's certainly possible, likely at some point. But right now, I'm just having a ball. I talked about the financial model when I was building out last time, and again, I'm going to try hard not to turn this into a commercial, but I love the people, I love the products, and what we've often done in this space over the years has been focusing on peak performance and how important that is from an execution and a success perspective. You just have to be on your game. And again, it goes back to those windows. There's going to be times you're on your game, there's going to be times you're not. We talked about Malcolm Gladwell, both in these annals as well as in the book, about the 10,000 hour note, which basically says, anyone that has, or most folks, many folks that have acquired some degree of incredible proficiency, it's taken them 10,000 hours or so to hone, refine, come back from getting knocked down, on and on and on. And so, that's a big part of, um, you know, surviving that is a big part of any degree of success, and putting the time in and keeping your energy up during that. So that which I loved and embraced and spoke a lot about over the years is really what we're providing in a different way in terms of Jocko Fuel and Origin. I mentioned last time, my favorite energy drink is the black cherry vanilla. Okay, just personal preference. Again, just 95 milligrams of caffeine, about a cup of coffee, some other good stuff in it, not like all that other junk here. Excuse the commercial, but I'm proud to be associated with that, along with a lot of other products. Um, the mission that we have right now, in terms of getting some of our products out, it's just good to be part of. So if you sense some of the energy around me, then that's a big reason for it. I have been certainly have been through periods in my life where I have been burned out, and some of you have seen that here over the years, whether it was with respect to the markets or whether it was respect to other corporate or life efforts. And I might have said this in one of the last couple of videos, but you know, since I last connected with a lot of you folks, it's been 5 years, and I don't feel 5 years older. I feel 10 years younger. And I mean that. I've said that to many, many people over the years. And it's interesting because when COVID hit, and we had a lot to do to build a financial infrastructure of really a startup company, two startup companies. COVID hit, it was somewhat of an advantage because I had to be locked down and I couldn't really focus. I couldn't even cross state lines and I'd come to a new state. And so that really gave me the window, if you will, and the focus that was required to just go do something and just kind of shut yourself off from the world. And that's when I had to disconnect from the networks and the other efforts that we were doing with Damon. So here we are now. Again, having built a lot of that out, I can breathe a little bit easier now. Kind of do some things on the weekends with my family, reconnect with you folks. So anyway, again, it goes back to the energy level, and I guess it goes back to a purpose in life, a mission in life. There's so many people that take different approaches to the markets. For example, I mentioned in the last video, I believe that actively managing one's own portfolio, whether it's on a micro time frame basis or a macro basis, it isn't for everybody. It is not for everybody. And in many cases, you could argue where it's for the few. And um, it's just something that, like any skill-based profession, any performance-based uh, endeavor, one has to be better than the best or as good as the best, competing with the algorithms, knowing when to pause, when to jump with both feet, and sustaining that level of ability, capability over the years as life and other efforts intervene is a challenge. And so I mentioned last time too that this, reconnecting with everybody here is reminding me how tough life can be at times. And we talked about market rhythms the last couple of weeks. If we can maybe ebb into that topic, I guess one of the things I've noticed lately is the outlier periods um, tend to be fewer right now, and knowing when they're there, knowing when to go for the throat, knowing when to get in there with your volume. It's a bit of a dance. And so, as markets get a little bit less volatile, I say less volatile, they can be more choppy, but they can be less volatile, if you know what I mean, especially if you're a breakout trader. So, the need to acknowledge that, the need to really expand your horizons well beyond the 9 to 4 o'clock or 9:30 to 4 o'clock Eastern time slots remains key. I still look at Europe rhythms. I still, there's a big part of me that still wants to live in Europe because, oh man, those rhythms are just so smooth. And remember the days that, I used to journal my actions of being up at 3 a.m. ad infinitum on the East Coast in the States because trying to capture those rhythms, which you just can't sustain it. You can't sustain a life in both continents and keep your sanity. So that's it. But it is still important to expand your horizons and just think outside the box. I've often referred to the U.S. market, especially during the first half hour or so, as the cowboy market. But like fishing, it's cast, bringing in cast of there it is, right? I think Linda Ratchke in the past has referred to that as red light, green light. Same thing. So again, knowing when to go hard, um, and life too, it's a balance. And I've often said that from a trading or an investing perspective, man, you really gotta have something else. You gotta have something paying the bills. You gotta have, whether it's a part-time gig in another field that you're good at, whether it's, a significant other or spousal income. I've said that from day one, and the books and spades should really call that out. There is a bit of a paradox that remains, in terms of if you have a second effort that does that for you and reduces the risk and the pressure, that will likely take focus away and opportunities away from you. So it's, you know, chicken and the egg, major paradox. I don't think that paradox ever goes away. Yet, you know, there's a reason that, you know, top professional golfers have logos, you know, on their hats and shirts, and you know, provides them that ability to just focus on execution and not worrying about, you know, using that result to put food on the table. And I just can't stress that enough. So, um, you know, I guess that's you know, another recurring thought that comes to mind is maybe we wrap this up. So I'm sure there's more to say. I'll again try to do this every week or so. Again, anything that I say is not rocket science. It's one person's opinion. Again, several years removed from when we all last got together, but you know, I got some thoughts. I got some exciting thoughts for down the road. If you'd like to stay connected, and we'll just continue doing these for now. Again, I'm having a ball on this other mission. We're about ready to start. We're calling it the 434 Walmart tour, meaning at 4:34 a.m. If any of you know Jocko Willink, I encourage you to follow him because he gets up real early, and he's going to be at selected Walmarts at 4:34 a.m. and at 5 a.m. we're going to be doing calisthenics and burpees and that. So that's you know, talk about peak performance. That's the group of people I'm associated with. We are all in on this mission, and yeah, I'll keep you posted on that as well as the movie. Again, trying to hook up with Jocko and perhaps even Chris Pratt this week as they film the movie. So anyway, that's what I got for now. Again, thank you so much for reaching out to me. Sorry for the audio. Ooh, for the audio quality. Goes the laptop and the camera, but this is fun for me. I hope it's somewhat worthwhile to you. And again, feel free to reach out to me down at traderchronicles.com, and we'll keep it going. Be well. Take care. Till next time.